Warrior Wednesday update. Now, I don't know when you'll be listening to this. It could be Wednesday night, it could be Thursday, Friday, but I'm here to give you a couple of updates that I want you to know about, because when it comes to human trafficking, sex trafficking, labor trafficking, particularly of our children, mainstream media does not want you to know anything. I want to talk about, yes, I live in New York City and I'm sitting in the middle of New York City. And we had our general elections yesterday for city council and a lot of elections across the United States. And I have to say, I am tired of all of these lazy people not getting up, going out, and making a difference. Because the difference to be made, warrior, is that you must effect change at the local level. We've learned over the last couple of years, when it's been brilliantly done, and I don't want to digress and get too far into the politics of almost 100 DAs being put into position across the country at that local level, where you can change laws, where you can defund the police, where you can keep people out of jail, where no bail, whatever it is. So yesterday we had 51 council members, every seat of the New York City Council up for grabs. Realistically, because we're always realistic here at the Warriors, we had about 8 seats that could truly be flipped. Well, guess what? Not one seat was flipped. Now, one was flipped up in the Bronx, but that wasn't even on the menu. So what I'm telling you, there's no rhyme or reason. My husband and I did early voting, and that amounted to about 2% of New Yorkers did early voting. And as of right now, and the numbers aren't all in, and always, what do I tell you about numbers? We don't even know if they're correct, but for the ballpark, they're saying about 11% of people who could vote in New York voted. 11%. I don't understand this, because my example of where I live in New York, crime, shoplifting, what's going on with our children and families and parental autonomy and the school system, and people don't want to come out on that local level and fight. This is where it counts. Washington's a mess. As I resume my warrior trips back beginning next week, because after all, I'm going to get in front of people and start saying what I have to say. Take it or leave it. I'm going to go for it. But in the meantime, because Washington is such a tough place, a lot of talk, a lot of chatter, not a lot getting done. Why, after all, just this week, we've had several things in the last week. We had the Biden administration a little over a week ago announce an executive order for AI. They're not going to put up with this with national security and blah, 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 blah. Barely a mention of how artificial intelligence will affect kids. Okay. Number 2, we had another whistleblower telling us about Facebook and how it harms children. And this was just yesterday that he testified on Capitol Hill. I don't feel very confident about anything coming out of that, because 2 years ago, the other day, was the anniversary of Frances Haugen. Do you remember her? She was the Facebook whistleblower. She came forth. We were all so excited. And they did big congressional hearing on Capitol Hill, having a representative from all the platforms, TikTok and Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram. Everybody was there to answer the hard questions. And you know what? Frances Haugen herself put out an opinion piece, and she said it's 2 years later and nothing's changed with big tech. So I'm not confident about the newest whistleblower. Today, mass day across the United States of contacting and hammering our elected senators. We elect them. We pay taxes. They work for us. I think they have forgotten that, but we have to see, our job is to keep reminding them of that. KOSA, K-O-S-A, Kids Online Safety Act. We are tweeting, we are calling, we are Facebooking. And there's loads of people involved in this. Mainstream media doesn't cover it. Nobody tells you about it. I'm doing my best. Other organizations are doing their best. Why is it so hard to protect our children? Why is it sometimes when organizations come out and they're protecting children, then they're called conspiracy theorists or they're, I don't know, attacked? Why is it so darn hard? Why are we allowing this? Why are we allowing New York City Mayor Eric Adams to say the prostitution increase in New York City is because of the migrant women when it has been going on and escalating over the last 5 years like you cannot believe? We can't just say, no, this is wrong, this is bad. We have to come out and stand up en masse, as I like to say, in numbers. The largest threat to us right now, well, there's a lot of threats. I'm very upset because I think what happened across the United States is a precursor to our 1 year away presidential election. And what we have witnessed and have had to live through, and if I can't get a toothpaste here in New York out of a drugstore because they're under lock and key. Yet I'm told today that, shoplifting has escalated in New York City 64%. 64%. That's what they know about. So we know it's higher. If all of this, what we have lived through in the last few years, and I know, for instance, I'm in New York, so don't give me this argument, it's in my face. It affects my community, me. I know people are visual. They have to see things. But I know there's crime across the country. There's a lot of crime. I talk to people in New Jersey that I know, and they report to me in these wealthier neighborhoods, upper middle class, the carjackings, the shoplifting. Well, I was recently in a particular drugstore chain in New Jersey. And I go there when I'm out because nothing's locked up. And I did indeed see two teenage girls stuffing their backpacks, just openly taking their time and stealing things. Nobody stopped them. And they just sauntered out of the store. They left like they didn't have a care in the world because nothing happens to them, no accountability. So if we as voters, we can't complain. If you didn't vote, you can't complain. We have to at least try. We cannot give up on our country. We are allowing this criminality. I'm almost in shock, but because I'm a warrior, I will not be in shock. I will not feed into it. I will continue fighting for you, families, children, because my mission is, if I can help one person a day, I have done my job. And hopefully that person will carry that forward and help another person. But not turning out across the country, and it's remaining pretty much the same, seats not flipped, when all of this is going on. We have work to do. I can no longer hear that excuse that we are overwhelmed, we are busy. We all are. We're all hanging on. We must, for our children and grandchildren and the future of America, come out together. We will not accept this. We're not allowing this. And we need to go forth into 2024 with this kind of warrior attitude. I am scared for our children. The biggest threats, open borders right now, and also this AI, AGI, artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence. No laws, no regulations. You can see the proof is in what has happened with big tech, kids' online safety, your safety. Nothing much. Again, a lot of talk. Can't get these bipartisan bills over the finish line in Congress. So it is up to you in your home to be a warrior, to listen to me. When I tell you the future is frightening, when I tell you because of the relationships I have and people I work with, experts in many different fields, and they say to me, Lynn, we have no answers. It's frightening. We don't know where this is going. You must take care of your own home. You must take the responsibility if you give your child a device that you have put the guardrails on, that you at least have the open and honest discussion with your child. There are many great resources, a lot of them free. Go to lynswarriors.org. Please sign up for our newsletter going out within 24 hours. Lots of tidbits, a lot of information, things coming up, a lot of free things. Talk to your children. Always write to me, Lynn at lynswarriors.org. Don't give up. Don't give in. We will not allow this war that is going on for our children. We will not be discouraged and not go out and vote. We have to take everything out of our toolkits right now. We may not like our government, but we love our country. And with that in mind, remember always, community creates change. Stick with me. Each and every day, be a warrior.